Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new lecture of the series Introduction to Toy Design. My name is Dr. Supradip Das. I am an assistant professor at the Department of Design at IIT Guwahati. In this lecture, we will discuss the most influential toy designers and their work, and some of the artists who invented toys. And by the end of this lecture, you will be able to identify key toy designers and explain their contributions to the evolution of the toy industry. Learn how studying influential toy designs can inspire their own creative processes, material choice, and user-centered design thinking. Understand how contemporary designers are also reshaping the industry through sustainability, eco-materials, and ethical production. Toy designers have shaped the way children learn, play, and imagine toy, combining creativity, material innovation, and educational philosophy. From early pedagogical pioneers to modern design thinkers, these designers transformed toys into powerful tools for cognitive and emotional development as well. Now, let us look at the influential toy designers and their work. Danish carpenter Ole Kirk Christiansen is the visionary founder of Lego in 1932, one of the most influential toy companies in the world. His work transformed not only toy design but also the culture of play itself. Christiansen began as a woodworker, crafting simple wooden toys in the 1930s during the Great Depression. His belief that only the best is good enough shaped the company's philosophy from the very start. In 1949, he introduced a small plastic building brick, an innovation that would revolutionize the toy industry. Through experimentation and persistence, Christiansen and his team developed the modern interlocking Lego brick in 1958, featuring the now iconic stud and tube system. This design made the bricks stable, versatile, and endlessly reconfigurable. His greatest influence lies in creating a system of play, a set of standardized bricks that could be combined in countless ways, encouraging imagination, engineering thinking, and creative problem solving. These modular concepts set new standards for construction toys and inspired a generation of architects, designers, and builders. Ole Kirk Christiansen's commitment to quality, innovation, and play-centered learning laid the foundation for Lego's global success and established him as one of the most significant toy designers and entrepreneurs in history. His legacy continues to shape how the world understands creativity through play. Ruben Clement, an American toy inventor and designer whose creative range and entrepreneurial vision left a lasting mark on the global toy industry. Best known as the creator of The Game of Life in 1960, Clement produced one of the most iconic and best-selling board games of all time, one that remains a cornerstone of family entertainment more than 6 decades later. Over his career, he developed more than 200 toys, games, and products, demonstrating an exceptional ability to merge storytelling and design. His portfolio included educational toys, role-play products, action toys, and innovations in toy manufacturing. Clemmer was also instrumental in the early development of licensed character toys, helping shape partnership between toy companies and media brands. A pioneer in toy invention as a profession, he played a key role in defining how inventors collaborate with major companies like Milton Bradley, Hasbro, and Mattel. His talent for identifying what would resonate with children and families helped set new standards for fun, meaningful, and marketable play experiences. Throughout his life, Ruben Clemmer championed creativity, innovation, and accessibility in toys. His most lasting contribution, the concept of toys and games that reflect life choices, imagination, and social bonding, continues to influence contemporary game design. For his lifetime of achievements, he was inducted into the Toy Industry Hall of Fame. Alfred Carlton Gilbert was one of the most influential figures in the toy industry because he redefined toys as tools for learning, experimentation, and invention, not just entertainment. Gilbert was trained as a medical doctor and was an Olympic gold medalist in pole vaulting. But his lasting legacy came through toys that merged play with science and engineering. In 1913, he introduced the Erector set, a metal construction toy made of perforated steel beams, nuts, bolts, gears, and motors. Unlike earlier static toys, the Erector set allowed children to build, dismantle, and rebuild working machines, bridges, cranes, elevators, and vehicles, mirroring real-world engineering systems. His work was influential because it shifted the purpose of toys from imitation to experimentation, from passive play to hands-on problem solving, from fantasy alone to real-world technical skills. Gilbert believed that toys could shape future inventors. He famously marketed his products as toys that make boys into men, reflecting the gender norms of his times, positioning play as preparation for careers in engineering, science, and industry. This philosophy laid early foundations for what we now call STEM education. During World War I and World War II, when many manufacturers shifted away from toy production, Gilbert argued that educational toys were essential for national progress, helping children understand mechanics, electricity, and innovation. His company expanded beyond the Erector set to include chemistry sets, microscope kits, and physics-based toys, reinforcing science literacy through play. Gilbert's influence on the toy industry can be seen in the rise of construction and engineering toys such as Lego Technic and Meccano. The integration of real materials like metal, tools, and motors into play. The idea that toys can be serious learning systems, not just amusements. The long-term link between toys, education, and professional skill building. Today, Gilbert is remembered as a pioneer who transformed toys into platforms for creativity, technical thinking, and innovation, proving that play can be both joyful and intellectually powerful. George Lerner, born in 1922, was an American toy inventor whose imagination reshaped the world of play. He is best known as the creator of Mr. Potato Head, one of the most iconic and enduring toys of the 20th century. Lerner's original idea was revolutionary for its time. Instead of complete finished toy, he designed a set of separate facial features and accessories, eyes, nose, mouths, hats, that children could push into real vegetables found at home. A potato could become a face, but so could a carrot, an apple, or a cucumber. It encouraged open-ended creativity, allowing kids to build and rebuild characters in countless combinations. When Mr. Potato Head was released by Hasbro in 1952, it became the first toy ever advertised on television, transforming the entire toy marketing industry. The concept's playful customization laid the groundwork for later modular and character building toys. Lerner's work has had a lasting influence by introducing the first character toy with interchangeable parts, inspiring future customizable toys and collectibles. By revolutionizing toy advertising as TV commercials quickly became the industry standard. By encouraging creative, imaginative play, making children active creators rather than passive users. By building a character that became part of global popular culture, from homes to film franchises like Toy Story. George Lerner's innovation reshaped toy design, marketing, and children's creative engagement, cementing his legacy as a pivotal figure in modern toy history. When we think of toys, we often imagine playthings made for children, but behind many iconic toys are also artists, visionaries who used creativity, experimentation, and imagination to transform play into an art form. These artists did not just design toys, they invented a new ways to play. Drawing from art, design, education, and culture, they created objects that sparked imagination, encouraged learning, and reflected the spirit of their time. From sculptors and illustrators to modernist designers and experimental thinkers, artists who invented toys blurred the boundaries between art and play, proving that toys can be expressive, meaningful, and culturally powerful. In this section, we explore how artistic thinking shaped some of the world's most influential toys and how play became a medium for creativity, storytelling, and innovation. Charles Schulz is an American cartoonist who created the comic strip Peanuts, featuring the characters Charlie Brown and Snoopy. Though known as cartoonist, Schulz shaped toy culture through Peanuts and merchandise. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the Peanuts gang became iconically translated into plush dolls and collectibles. Schulz's simple, expressive drawing style, and emotionally rich storytelling translated seamlessly into toys, figurines, plush dolls, board games, and playsets. The Peanuts characters became some of the earliest and most successful example of character-driven toys, demonstrating how illustrated personalities could move from print into three-dimensional play objects. His influence on toy design includes establishing character-led toy design, where emotional connection and storytelling drive play value, humanizing toys through relatable personalities, making toys a vehicle for empathy, humor, and imagination, shaping licensed toy culture, helping define how media characters are adapted into toys, expanding toys into cultural icons, appealing to both children and adult collectors. Charles Schulz's work reshaped the toy industry by proving that toys could carry emotional depth and narrative meaning. His characters remain timeless, influencing how artists, illustrators, and designers continue. Jim Henson was an American puppeteer, artist, and storyteller whose creative vision reshaped the toy industry by transforming puppets into emotionally rich, characters-driven toys. Best known as the creator of the Muppets, Henson blurred the boundaries between performance, design, and play, redefining what toys could represent. Although Henson was not a conventional toy designer, his deep involvement in character creation from material and movement strongly influenced how Muppet toys were designed and produced. Characters such as Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and Elmo became iconic toy figures, translated into plush toys, hand puppets, action figures, and educational play objects. Jim Henson influenced the toy design industry by redefining toys as characters with personality, emotion, and narrative rather than simple play objects. His impact goes far beyond puppetry and fundamentally changed how toys are designed, marketed, and experienced. His contributions are into character-driven toy design. Henson's Muppets, Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear established toy as extensions of fully developed characters. Toys were no longer generic puppets but carried distinct identities, voice, and emotions. This set the foundation for story-first design, later adopted by brands like Star Wars, Disney, and Pixar. Emotional connection and personality in play. Muppet toys encouraged role play, empathy, and storytelling. And children formed emotional bonds with characters, increasing long-term engagement and collectability. Integration of media and toys. Henson pioneered tight integration between television, film, and toys. Toys became part of a larger narrative ecosystem, an approach that later defined the modern toy media mode. Innovation in soft toy and puppet design. Introduced expressive materials like soft fabrics, foam, felt, and articulated mouths. Emphasized tactility, movement, and expressiveness, influencing plush and puppet manufacturing techniques. Educational purpose through play. Through Sesame Street Toys were designed to support learning, social skills, and emotional intelligence, not just entertainment, and helped legitimize toy as tool for early childhood education, adult and cross-generational appeal. Hanson's work appealed to both children and adults, expanding the toy market beyond age-specific categories, and laid groundwork for collector culture and nostalgia-driven toy lines. Girard was a modernist designer, architect, and textile artist, known for his work with Herman Miller and for shaping mid-century American visual culture. His entry into toy design came through his lifelong fascination with folk art, symbols, and human rituals. In the late 1950s and early 60s, Girard began creating wooden dolls, figures, and play objects inspired by global folk traditions. These toys were initially made for his own home and family, especially for children, rather than as commercial products. His most famous toy work emerged in 1962 with the creation of the wooden dolls, also called the Girard dolls, originally designed as an installation for the Miller House in Indiana. Girard wooden dolls, created in 1962, over 100 hand-painted wooden figures representing people, animals, mythic characters, and symbolic forms. Not traditional toys, but playable sculptures inviting interaction, storytelling, and imagination. Girard combined simplicity of form with rich graphic details. Alexander Girard reimagined toys as more than objects of play. For him, toys were cultural storytellers, carrying rituals, symbols, and identities from different parts of the world. This approach encouraged later designers to embed narrative and meaning into toy forms, rather than treating them as mere entertainment. Girard also brought together folk art and modernism. He combined the clean, simple forms of modern design with vibrant folk motifs drawn from Latin America, Asia, and Eastern Europe. In doing so, he inspired toy designers to move beyond Western commercial aesthetics and embrace global visual languages. At the heart of his work was emotional and imaginative play. Girard's toys were open-ended, inviting children to create their own stories instead of following fixed rules. This way of thinking anticipated contemporary views of play as a space for emotion, imagination, and storytelling. Material honesty was central to his practice. By using wood, hand painting, and visible craftsmanship, Girard celebrated the making process itself. His approach influenced the rise of artisan, design-led toys and contributed to today's renewed interest in wooden and handcrafted play objects. Finally, Girard blurred the boundaries between art, design, and play. His toys exist somewhere between sculpture, art piece, and children's playthings, helps establish toy as serious field of design worthy of museum and design history. Keith Haring did not set out to be a traditional toy designer, but he became highly influential in toy culture by turning art into playful, accessible objects. His approach reshaped how toys, collectibles, and character-based objects could function as tools for expression, identity, and social commentary. Herring began as a street artist, using public spaces like subway stations as his canvas. His bold, simplified figures, radiant babies, barking dogs, and dynamic lines already carried a toy-like visual language graphic, repeatable and instantly recognizable. In the 1980s, Herring intentionally expanded his art beyond galleries into reach children and the general public. He believed art should be accessible, affordable, and playful, which led him to collaborate on objects such as toys, figures, puzzles, and playful merchandise. In 1986, he opened the Pop Shop in New York, selling art-based products including toy-like objects at affordable prices. Keith Haring transformed toys into art objects. By blurring the boundaries between art, toys, and collectibles, his figures functioned both as playful objects and powerful artist statement. This approach directly influenced what we now recognize as the art toy movement. His work is defined by graphic simplicity and iconic forms. With bold outlines, flat colors, and repeating characters, Haring created visuals that were instantly recognizable. This encouraged toy designers to focus on strong symbol-driven forms that communicate at a glance. Haring also believed in the democratization of play objects. He made artist-designed toys accessible to everyday people, not just elite collectors. This philosophy inspired the rise of designer toys, vinyl figures, and limited edition art toys. Importantly, Haring infused toys with spatial and political meaning. Themes of community, love, AIDS awareness, anti-racism, and activism were embedded into his playful figures, proving that toys can carry serious messages while remaining engaging. Finally, Haring laid the foundation for the contemporary art toy movement. His work paved the way for later artists and designers such Takashi Murakami established toys as platforms for self-expression, cultural commentary, and critique. So now, pause for a moment and think about this. Every toy we have discussed today began as an idea about play, but ended up shaping behavior, culture, and memory. These designers and artists did not just ask, what can children play with? They asked deeper questions. What should play feel like? What values are quietly embedded in the toy's form, material, and story? As we conclude this lecture, let's think about these thought-provoking questions. If you were to design a toy today, what world would it reflect? What stories would it tell about? And most importantly, what kind of future would it allow children to imagine through play? While you introspect, let us move ahead into the next lecture with same excitement. Have a playful time.